Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor clearance. Plus, save with weekly deal drops on appliances, tools, and more. Valid 12/12 through 12/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers snapped a 3-game losing streak Monday night by dropping 144 points on the Utah Jazz. James Harden scored 34 of his 41 points in the first half. The championship game of the NBA Cup tournament is tonight in Vegas. Milwaukee takes on Oklahoma City. $500,000 to each player on the winning team. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 1 in the nation, is 11-0 after a 32-point win over Cal Poly. Bruins forward Janiyah Barker filled up her stat line with 12 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 block shots. Former USC quarterback Caleb Williams continues to have a rough rookie season in the NFL. The Chicago Bears are 4-10 after losing at Minnesota Monday night. The 10 losses are more than the number of defeats Williams had during his 2 years at USC. Williams was 18-8 as the Trojans quarterback. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow's glistening, a beautiful sight. We're happy tonight, walking in the winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, he'll stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in the winter wonderland.
That's Babyface on Tavis, Smiley. I am Tavis, Smiley, and I'm delighted to have you with us in this hour. In this hour, as promised, Babyface sounds good, man. 2 conversations on the B-side. Kenny Hampton, president of the African American Male Wellness Agency, on black men getting their minds, bodies, and spirits right for the holiday season and the new year upcoming. But we commenced this hour, as promised, in dialogue with Neville Boston, talking about his company, Revivor. I told you at the top of the hour, top of the show, I should say, 2 hours ago. I told you if you've not heard about the digital platform Revivor, you didn't want to miss this conversation. Many believe it is the next big thing, and a black man is running it. Once again, it's called Revivor, and his name is Neville Boston. Neville, how are you, sir?
Man, I'm blessed. It's good to be with you.
It's good to have you.
Good to be with you,
man. Good to be with you, and good to hear your voice. I want to make the most of these 25 minutes that we have here. Before I get into Revivor, again, I refer to you as a tech innovator, as an entrepreneur. I want to give you time to unpack Revivor in a moment, but give me more about your background. I'm always fascinated. You know, I've said this many times, and you know this better than I, Neville, that even with all the progress we've made in this field, in this industry, black people by far still represent the consumer base more than we represent the creator, the innovator base. And we got to change that dynamic in the months and years to come. So I'm always fascinated by black people who are in the tech space as innovators, as entrepreneurs. Just tell me a bit about your backstory, and we'll work our way up to Revivor.
All right, so I am first generation here from Guyana, so the only English-speaking country in South America. My parents, my dad was born in Essequibo. My mom was born in Georgetown. They immigrated to this country in 1969, and I was born in Brooklyn, New York in 71. So I've lived an immigrant experience my entire life in the way that I've looked at work and I looked at education and how I looked at family. And my family's huge. They're hardworking. They're focused, and we're close. So and we're big. There's a lot of us.
Yeah. Hey, that's good. That's good, except when it comes to buying Christmas gifts, you got a long list. But otherwise,
This is true.
trust me, I'm one of 10 kids. I know this story well. I've got 9 brothers and sisters and like 30-something nieces and nephews. I know the pain of that around the holiday season. But let me just ask, since you went there, what is the difference you think? And you've only been inside of one body, the body that Neville Boston resides in. But what do you think the difference is when you look at America? To your point, Neville, through an immigrant lens versus the lens that I see America through.
You know what it is that there is a feeling that anything's possible because you came from a place where you don't have as many opportunities and in the same way. Mm-hmm. And I think what happens when you get to America coming from another country, your feeling is they're going to allow me to be as successful as I want to be. So if I outwork them, then I have access. So it's a whole different level in mentality. It's about education. We want to get as educated as we can, as quickly as we can. We're willing to work 3, 4, 5 jobs to get on the other side because we understand the importance. We don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
And every one of my cousins, I've got like 30 cousins, first cousins. I mean, we're all workers.
Yeah.
We're all workers, and that's what it's about. Like, we don't take anything for granted. And I got to tell you something that's really interesting. Because of COVID, and we ended up losing 2 of my cousins because of COVID, we do a cousins call every single weekend on Sunday. Wow. And we've been doing it for the last 4 years. Wow. And it's brought us together in a way that I never imagined. And everybody looks forward to it. And if they're only able to stop by for 15, 20 minutes, some folks will be on the call for 2, 3 hours. Yeah. And we're just recounting things that are going on. We're talking politics. We're laughing about different things that are happening. But we are together. And we've developed a relationship that is so close because of that. So we took a tragedy and made it something beautiful.
I love that. The cousins call. Yeah. That's a great idea. I got 2 minutes here right now. We'll have more time when we come forward, but just give me the backstory to the journey of how you got in. Hard worker, I hear that. But how did you get in the tech space? And then we're going to talk about Revivor when we come forward.
Yes. So the thing was, I had a marketing company in New York. We had big clients like Pepsi and Microsoft and Moet Hennessy and Diageo, and the island of Bermuda was one of our clients. And we were developing really unique ways to market through developing affinity for brands through events. Mm-hmm. And we would develop events that really spoke to who the brand was, to connect them with new customers and build kind of that iconic moment. Like you think about when you see the picture of Marvin Gaye and you know that that's a Hennessy commercial, and Hennessy somehow figured out that our people, like when we see that, it invokes a certain type of emotion. Because when I was talking to it with a friend of mine, he knew exactly what I was talking about. The coat, his hair, it's almost like there's steam around. You know what I'm talking about? And when you think about that, you understand that brand understands us. Mm-hmm. So that's why you go and call for it. So those were the kinds of campaigns that we were developing in a space where people would go and they were like, this brand gets us, because they developed this in a space that we come to. So with all of that going on, 2008 hits. We think that we're going to explode. And then here, the end of the year, going into 2009, and everything falls apart. Yeah. You've got, Microsoft laying off folks. You've got Pepsi laying off folks. I had to kind of rejigger my entire business, and I came to the realization that I am not in control. Yeah. And I need to be in a position where I can have a business that people see value, but every year somebody has to do something. Yeah. So I'm in California. I'm having dinner with a good friend of mine, and he works in a state government. And he worked for the pro tem at the time with a gentleman named John Burton. Mm-hmm. And the conversation that we were having is that we were looking at underutilized assets that the state owned. And fortunate for me, unfortunate for him, he had a horrible experience at the DMV and was talking about how ineffective they were and all the rest of it. And my crazy idea was, listen, what if people didn't have to go to the DMV to do the registration? What if you could do it online? And what if you could do it to a digital format, digital plate?
Hold that thought. Digital format, digital plate. You see where this is headed. He's having lunch, dinner with the right person. He has an idea that sparks, and he raises the fundamental question, what if you could do it differently? What if you could do it this way, digitally? Now you see we're on the road, on the path to talking about Revivor. Full disclosure here, I am a stockholder in Revivor. I've got some stock because I believe it is the next big thing, and it's being run by a black man. Don't ever want to have a conversation with you. I don't tell you transparently what my role is in the process, and that's not why Neville is really on here. I want you to be aware of it. And again, a black man is running, but I don't want anybody to think that or discover somewhere down the road that I was a stockholder and I didn't tell y'all that. We'll let Neville tell you about Revivor when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
On behalf of the Ayers family, KBLA Talk 1580 announces the public funeral services for our very own Robin Ayers on Saturday, December 21st, 12 noon, in the living room at the Faithful Central Bible Church, 400 West Florence Avenue in Inglewood. Robin will be sorely missed by all who knew her and the many lives she touched. We will hold on to our fondest memories forever. Family and friends are invited to come celebrate Robin's joyful life Saturday, December 21st at 12 noon in the living room at Faithful Central Bible Church, 400 West Florence Avenue in Inglewood. KBLA Talk 1580 extends sincere condolences to the Ayers family. Robin will always be in our hearts.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and More. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Priced so amazingly low.
Curbside pickup and delivery available, and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
It's that holiday time of year. Give the gift of hearing to you or a loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today. Audien Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audienhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com. Hurry, don't miss Audien Hearing's Christmas sale live, now through December 15th.
He's a paradigm pioneer. and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley in Neville, Boston, tech innovator and entrepreneur. He is the man behind this company, a company called Revivor. I invite you to go online, as my staff just did, and look it up right now. Just go to Revivor. You can look it up. As I mentioned, full transparency, I have some stock in this company, so I don't want to dissuade you or mislead you about that. I believe it is one of the next big things, and I'll let Neville tell you again. You can pick up the story about the conversation you were having with this particular Politico. Take me back to that conversation and bring me forward to Revivor. Go, Neville.
Yeah. So the conversation I'm having is around what if we don't have to go to the DMV anymore? What if we're able to do it remotely? And it was crazy in thought, but you know something? It made sense because anytime you talk about DMV, people have a visceral reaction, and it's normally not good because they remember time wasted being someplace too long that was inefficient. And so what we decided to do is that we decided that we were going to put together a deck, and we were going to meet with somebody from the DMV and talk to them about this crazy idea that we had. So we were able to find a gentleman named Dennis Clear, who was the legislative director for the California DMV, and we met with him in December of 2008. And what we thought was going to be a 5-minute meeting ended up being an hour and a half. The reason why is that the DMV was talking about getting people out of their offices, and he thought this idea of a digital platform could work, to the point where he went with us as we were meeting with state legislators to talk about this idea that we had before we built anything. So the first thought around it could this be successful was that. The second one is that he put us in touch with a gentleman from the CHP, and his name was Avery Brown. And Avery was, Caribbean, but he's with the CHP. He was a person that was on the ascent, and we met with him and his team. And I think what came from that meeting was probably the most important piece that we got, because what he said was this: normally when you have a tech company, they build something and ask for forgiveness later. You guys are coming to us with a deck, and you're asking for our opinion. He said, listen, when you guys build it, we have a test track in Sacramento. We'll run it through its paces, so when you actually make it, it will be legal to be on the road. And that's how the process started. Those two conversations were completely pivotal. And then I had to go about raising money. And I had never raised money before. So, I went to two folks to get initial funding that were friends and father-in-law, and literally that was the first money in. Yeah. And that's how everything started. So it was a belief in an idea, but an understanding that you were solving a problem. But the thing that I don't think I really realized and really took on is that we had to build the entire ecosystem, everything.
Yeah.
So we had to build the product. We had to build, we had to run legislation in order to make it legal in states. And then we had to build the software platform that everything, rode on. So it was a lot of work that went into making this happen. But you know something? Where there's a will, there's a way. And when I took the first money in, I was not going to fail. Yeah. I was going to work myself tirelessly to the bone to make sure that we got on the other side.
Those immigrant values that we spoke of earlier, those immigrant values. So you started with this meeting in California. Now you're going state to state to state to state. I won't ask you for a rundown of all of that, but everybody drives. Everybody has a vehicle. We all have to have plates. We all have to deal with DMV at some point. Tell me how ultimately how revolutionary you think Revivor can be.
Well, this is the thing. You've got to think about in the when it comes to DMV and when it comes to services and compliance, nothing's been done when it comes to transportation to modernize it in decades. So this was ripe for disruption. More than that, how do you get your information nowadays? Everything comes through your cell phone.
Yep.
Most people don't go to banks anymore. They literally bank through their phone. Your check gets automatically wired to you when you get paid, and you pay your bills online. You do not send in checks anymore. That's what people don't do that. So, I mean, so your life is lived on this phone. Why wouldn't you be able to do functions and features from your app on your phone to your plate? And when you think about it, the digital plate is like when people talk about the last mile. It's the last mile of connection when it comes to compliance, because you can have digital services, but you have an analog plate, so which makes no sense. So you've got to still put a physical tag on it. You still have to do something with that piece of indicia that you can't update remotely. With a digital plate, you're able to be in compliance at all times because that device could be updated over air, and that's the difference. So when it comes to you, say, Tavis, you want to go from California to, say, Arizona, or you're moving to Michigan, or you're going to Texas or someplace else, you can update your plate remotely and have that information updated so that when you go to that next state, the new image is downloaded on your plate. You don't have to go to the DMV to get a new tag. You have one. And so when you start thinking about the things that you can do with that, whether you're a fleet and you have 100 vehicles that you no longer have to touch and you can update everything remotely and track where your vehicles are going, or if you are a mother that has kids in sports, or somebody new that's driving where you know where they're going and how they're driving, or if you're just, an Uber driver or a gig driver where you were utilizing your vehicle for work, you have a way of tracking and doing simplified things through your plate.
See, I'm thinking of everyday people like you and me who drive our own personal cars. But to your point, I'm also thinking of, just making this up, I'm thinking of Amazon. I'm thinking of UPS and all those brown trucks. All of these vehicles have to have plates. And when you create a platform that's digital, and everybody, individuals, corporations, multinationals, the government itself, when everybody now has a platform they can use to do all of this DMV stuff digitally, that's why I think there's something there. And that's why I invested in Revivor, because I believe, again, like everything else, digital is the wave of the future. Give me, watching my time, I got about 5 minutes. I want to ask a few other questions. First of all, before I ask, I was watching, and I hope I'm not misspeaking here, because if I am, you can just disabuse me of it. But I'm a basketball fan. Obviously, we're in the NBA season. You're laughing, so I must be honest because you're laughing already. I was watching the Sacramento Kings the other night. Did I see a Revivor thing on their uniform?
Oh my goodness, man! I'm so glad that you brought that up. Yes.
So that was Revivor on the uniform.
That says Revivor. We have the best patch in sports. Period. It's the most visible, and it's right there. And Revivor is. I know in basketball, at least in basketball, we are the first African-American founded company that has a patch sponsorship. I believe it's in all of sports, but I know for sure in basketball.
Yeah.
And the Sacramento Kings were the team of the year in 2023, and they have been an amazing partner, absolutely amazing partner. Could not ask for a more professional organization, better market, the best and brightest are working at that company, and we work hand in glove together. But the opportunity to be able to be on that jersey is huge because we built a solid product. We have over 65,000 of these on the road. But the thing that we didn't have is that nobody knew we existed. So getting the patch sponsorship with the Kings is a game changer because it allows us to get the visibility that we've been needing with a partner that has credibility. So when you think about companies and you think about success, I was listening to the CEO of Rivian on a podcast, and he was talking about 3 partnerships that Rivian had that were instrumental to their success. One is Amazon. Second is Ford. Third is VW, who put $5 billion into the company.
Mm-hmm.
And VW owns VW, Audi, and Porsche. So all of their vehicles over time will be on the Rivian platform. And when they need an electric motor, where are they going to get the motor? From Rivian.
Rivian, yeah.
So when you think about partnerships and success, in order for you to get on the other side, you need a partner working with you shoulder to shoulder to get there, and that's what the Kings are doing with us.
No, it's a big deal to have a patch on any major sports franchise's uniforms, but it shows again the ways in which this company Revivor, this black-owned, black-led, black-founded company in the digital space is gaining traction and gaining ground. So just give me a sense here of how the ways in which the company has grown over the past few years.
Well, what the company's doing and what we're focused on right now is just making sure that we take care of our backyard. We're in California. We're in Arizona. We're working on a contract in Michigan right now, and we're in Texas for commercial vehicles. But how we've grown is this. We look at the value that somebody needs to see in our technology in order to utilize it. Yes, you can update your registration, but what else can you do? Mm-hmm. Oh, now you can pay your tolls through our platform. What else can you do? Now you could do some of the DMV transactions outside of registration, like titling and other things, through this platform. We're working on integrations with tolling, not tolling, but parking meters, so that your plate can become a parking meter. Our job is to build value, and how the company's been growing is building value and gaining more customers. So you can get Revivor through online. You could buy it as a pure subscription. You can get it as on a firm, buy now, pay later, or you can buy it outright, or buy it through our partners, dealerships, or you can buy it for your fleet. And how we've grown is that we look at value for our customer. We look at more functionality that they can have on this plate, because where we believe we are is a platform, the same thing that Apple was. Why is Apple valuable? It's not because of the iPhone. It's not because of the iPad. It's not because of the iWatch. It's because of all of the businesses that can be built on the Apple platform. And once you get one device, you're hooked. Yep. Because everything syncs. And that's how we want to be. Revivor, we want plates to be powered by Revivor, vehicles to be powered by Revivor, because we're going to make it simple for you to be able to utilize your information in a very seamless manner. So digital glove box with all the information that you need at fingertips.
I think years from now, you'll be hearing about this company, Revivor, and you will have to say that you first heard about it, perhaps on Tavis Smiley. I am pleased to have had Neville Boston on this program to just unpack for you briefly what Revivor is and how it is going to be, I believe, revolutionary in the months and years to come. Always my great delight to share with you things that I'm exposed to. And if I know about it, I think you ought to know about it. Again, tech innovator, entrepreneur, Neville Boston is the man behind Revivor. Neville, congratulations. I know there's much more success in your future, and I expect we'll be talking again somewhere down the road. Until then, happy holidays, sir. Thank you for your time.
Same to you. Same to you. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Neville, and thank you, Jay. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The White House says the recent drone sightings in the Northeast are from legal and lawful drones posing no national security threat. John Kirby noted the activity is likely from commercial hobbyists or law enforcement drones with over 1 million registered with the FAA. In a press conference Monday from Mar-a-Lago, President-elect Trump said he would consider pardoning embattled New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who faces federal fraud and corruption charges, though he admitted he wasn't familiar with the specifics. ChatGPT search is now available for all ChatGPT users. OpenAI's web search assistant will either automatically determine which questions should be searched, or users can simply press a button. And just in time for the holidays, tonight's Mega Millions drawing will be worth at least $740 million. It's the largest Mega Millions jackpot that's ever been up for grabs in the month of December. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor clearance. Plus, save with weekly deal drops on appliances, tools, and more. Valid 12/12 through 12/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers snapped a 3-game losing streak Monday night by dropping 144 points on the Utah Jazz. James Harden scored 34 of his 41 points in the first half. The championship game of the NBA Cup tournament is tonight in Vegas. Milwaukee takes on Oklahoma City. $500,000 to each player on the winning team. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 1 in the nation, is 11-0 after a 32-point win over Cal Poly. Bruins forward Janiyah Barker filled up her stat line with 12 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 block shots. Former USC quarterback Caleb Williams continues to have a rough rookie season in the NFL. The Chicago Bears are 4-10 after losing at Minnesota Monday night. The 10 losses are more than the number of defeats Williams had during his 2 years at USC. Williams was 18-8 as the Trojans quarterback. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. If we're the ones disproportionately impacted by these climate catastrophes, why should we be silent? Turning up the volume all year long on the climate conversation for KBLA Talk 1580. As you're spending time with your loved ones or just taking some time to steal away for yourself, we appreciate you keeping it locked to KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Thanks to Total Wine, you saved more on all the gifts for the ones you adore. Wine, spirits, beers, all nestled on shelves. Got some advice from our helpful elves. Oh, so many gifts to explore when you go to Total Wine and more. Bottles so delightful, whoa. Priced so amazingly low.
Curbside pickup and delivery available, and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The revolution will not be televised.
This is Brother Cornell West. My dear brothers and sisters, I'm full of joy and delight to announce that I'm joining the precious family at KBLA Talk 1580, founded and led by my dear brother Tavis Smiley himself. Yes, the name of the show is Truth Time, and I'll be working with the inimitable Nina Turner out of Cleveland, Ohio, sister of great vision, and we will be on weekdays at 12 noon. We will be following Brother Tavis Smiley's show. We will begin Monday, January the 6th. That's right, Monday, January the 6th. Get ready for a different kind of insurrection. We coming with Martin Luther King Jr. and Fannie Lou Hamer and Curtis Mayfield and Aretha Franklin, and gonna add a little Gil Scott Heron too, as Nina Simone sits at the center. That's right.
The revolution will be live.
That's what we gonna do. Please come with us on this fantastic voyage.
The revolution will put you in the driver's seat.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Kenny Hampton, who is the president of the African American Male Wellness Agency. Let's have a brief conversation about black men getting their minds and bodies and spirits right for the holiday season and the new year. Kenny Hampton, good to have you on the program, sir. How are you today?
It's good to be with you. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Man, if I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I'm doing well, and let me start by saying thank you for your work and witness. I can think of a few things that are more important to me than investing the kind of time that you and your team do routinely to make sure that the spirits and the souls of black men are intact. I don't mean to make you political, but what did you make of the fact, I asked this question earlier of another guest who I was having a political conversation with, but I think you would take the frame that I'm putting you in. What did you make of all the talk about black men during this most recent political season?
Well, I would say this. When it comes to the state of our black men, I believe that we are in a state of an emergency. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities and there's a lot of things that we can bring to the table as black leaders across this country. And oftentimes we're looked at as if we can be a potential, hey, let's use the black male as an opportunity to extend the reach of someone else's agenda. But I believe that we, as black men, have an opportunity to prioritize ourselves and say, hold on a second. Yes, we are in a state of emergency, but what are we doing about ourselves? How are we prioritizing our health, or how are we prioritizing our own mental health so that others don't look at us as an opportunity for selfish gain, and we are being a little bit more selfish when it comes to us taking care of ourselves.
We'll get to Black Male Agency, if I can put it that way. Speaking of African American Male Wellness Agency, we'll get to Black Male Agency in a second here. But what's you think it's fair to say that black men are the most misunderstood people on the planet?
You know what, Travis, I do agree with that. I think that we are. I think that we are misunderstood in so many different ways. We bring so much value to the table that oftentimes it's kind of disappointing because I don't think that we sometimes understand our value to the fact that, you know, our organization, we pride ourselves on holistically support African American men and their families. But our men right now, we don't realize that there's an opportunity for us to work together. But the reason why we're unable to work together is because we're broken individually. And there's some things that we're trying to unlearn. There's some trauma that we're dealing with that we haven't been mature enough or humble enough or just flat out vulnerable enough to just pause and say, hey, you know what? I'm not okay. I got some issues. But we are looking for safe spaces, or we're looking for brotherhoods to connect to be able to begin that healing process. And that's where our organization pride ourselves on being able to provide that. But I do feel as though at this point in time, we are not valuing ourselves the way that we should.
When I saw the name of the organization, African American Male Wellness Agency, once again, African American Male Wellness Agency, I look at that word agency, it jumped out at me, because that word can be a double entendre, as you well know. Agency as in organization, institution, but agency as in power and authority and control. Was that intentional?
Yes, our organization is founded by Mr. John Gregory and his wife, Miss Pam Gregory, and they have unapologetically set out to impact the Black community, particularly starting with the Black man. And our organization, we pride ourselves on bringing the clinic to the community. We have a 16-city nationwide tour that addresses the fact that Black men are dying in the hands of preventable diseases. And there's so much power in our health that our men are sometimes so consumed with the service or so consumed with supporting the family that we don't take care of ourselves. And we are in a space where, like I said earlier, we're in a state of an emergency. And in the state of an emergency, when we're flying across this country, what do they say? Put your oxygen mask on first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're challenging brothers to put their oxygen mask on first by, first of all, finding out what's going on inside your body, brother. Getting a free health screening, and that's what we do at our events. It's the Black Men's Wellness Day National Tour that is coming across the country to provide these free health screenings. But more importantly, it's an opportunity for us to let our men know it's not okay to walk around not knowing what's going on inside your body or knowing more about your vehicle than you know about your body. And so that is the focus of our organization, is to really activate the power that we do have inside of us, and that is to take ownership of our lives by extending our lives by knowing more about what's going on inside of our bodies.
This is true, I think, of Black men all across the country. I know it's certainly true for some of the Black men in my family, and I know I am not an outlier in this regard. But to your last point, I think, as you well know, there are a lot of brothers who don't want to die, but they also don't want to know. They don't want to know. So you can give all the health screenings you want, and that's great work. Don't get me wrong. I support that. But what do you say to those persons, and how do you address this issue of Black men just not wanting to know if, in fact, there's something wrong? They don't want to deal with it.
Bishop T.D. Jakes, Jamie Foxx, Randy Moss. These are three notable brothers that right now we have examples in front of us that are dealing with life's challenges when it comes to Black men's health. And we are really wanting our brothers to understand the importance of us prioritizing the routine screenings or having annual visits with your doctor. That's why we pride ourselves on bringing the clinic to the community in a fun, family, festive way, because it takes the edge off what's really happening. You're really there to have a doctor's appointment. We say it's the most fun you'll ever have at a doctor's appointment, because here's what's happening, Tavis. We screened 5,000 men last year on our national tour. 85% had high blood pressure. 56.7% didn't even know it. And so we have brothers that are literally walking around dealing with the day-to-day demands of their lives, and they're not prioritizing the number one thing, which is their health. And I used to be one of them 2 years ago. I was in fear of wanting to know what was going on inside of my body because I didn't want to face the fact that I could be dealing with high blood pressure. And guess what? I got myself screened at one of our events, and lo and behold, my numbers were through the roof. And so I had to make some adjustments, and I had to change my diet. I had to change my lifestyle, and now my blood pressure is at a normal rate. But it's because, to your point, we're in the fear of knowing. And we're just letting brothers know, listen, that's not okay to function like that, but we're going to walk this health journey with you.
At these screenings, when these brothers ascertain, when they are enlightened as to what their numbers really are, particularly those numbers that are life-threatening, what kind of response do you see in them, coming from them?
Well, unfortunately, we are seeing on our national tour that 15 to 20% of our men that get screened at each of our cities have to either get immediately rushed to the hospital via ambulance, or they're having the recommendation of our physicians to go to their doctor within the next few days. A lot of men are startled. They're taken back by the information. For me personally, being a former athlete and being in decent shape, I was telling myself that I felt good. I felt as though, I have an active lifestyle, but not knowing that high blood pressure is something that runs in my family. And so we're trying to help men be more comfortable with learning what's going on inside their bodies, being more comfortable with this information, because sometimes it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not a bad thing for us to get bad information so that we could do something different. And that's why I am excited to see our men like our Randy Moss or Bishop T.D. Jakes or Jamie Foxx begin to share a little bit more about what's really happening with their journey, so that our men that are watching this, they can feel a little bit more comfortable with saying, you know what, it's time for me to prioritize my health so that I can embrace this preventative maintenance and live a little bit longer.
Kenny Hampton is president of the African American Male Wellness Agency. More with him when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From Leimert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement. Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Somebody bring out the confetti, baby!
Starting Monday, January 6th, KBLA Talk 1580 has a new midday lineup.
I'm excited!
Are you ready for Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornell West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, and E. Quarterly Corte back-to-back?
Oh, my God!
Are you really ready for all this smoke?
I'm ready, brother.
Yes, we still have Dominique DePrima in the mornings and Zoe Williams in the evenings, but middays just got lit on KBLA Talk 1580.
We on fire.
All across America, people are talking about our new midday lineup. Starting Monday, January 6th, our KBLA 1580 app downloads are on fire because everybody's going to be tuning in.
Yes, I love you guys. You are the bomb.
Now would be a good time to hit up SMB at KBLA1580.com if you want folks to hear about your business or brand. That's SMB at KBLA1580.com. It's going up in 2025 on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's going up. That's what I want.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
An official message from Medicare. Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money. Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
Kenny Hampton is president of the African American Male Wellness Agency. We talked to Kenny about the physical we have. What about the mental? That issue is the one issue that we seem to really not want to address. If we don't want to know what our numbers are, we really ain't trying to address this issue of mental wellness, mental health.
Absolutely, Tavis. This is one of the most critical parts of the work that we're doing. The health and wellness work that we're doing with the 16-city Saving Black Men's Lives Tour, that is an introduction to our holistic approach. We've been able to work very closely with our men nationally, where on average we have about 8 cities monthly hosting Real Men, Real Talks, where we have created safe spaces for brothers to come together, self-disclose, I self-disclose, our CEO self-disclose, things that we're dealing with and things that we're struggling with. And more importantly, we're able to join a brotherhood and share these things so that we can walk the journey together. And what we've been able to do is focus on why do black men mask? So our campaign this year was called Mask Off. And we've been able to identify what black men are masking with, but more importantly, what's behind that mask that only we know exists, and helping brothers live their true, authentic lives to ultimately extend life expectancy in this space, because too many of our brothers are dying in the hand of suicide right now. And we're just saying not on our watch.
I want to come back to the suicide issue in just a second, but since you teed it up, what's the masking all about? What have you learned?
Oh, my goodness. I tell you what, our brothers across the country are sharing that a lot of our men are appearing to be strong, but behind these masks, we're broken, we're weak, we're struggling with abuse, whether it's substance abuse or suicidal ideation. A lot of our brothers have been disclosing that they just don't feel appreciated. They don't feel loved. But on the front of their mask, they're showing up every day. They're smiling. They're projecting that they're strong. But behind closed doors, our brothers are in need of a hug. Our brothers are in need of another brother to tell them that they love them. And so we've been able to, in our partnership with R&B singer Eric Roberson, we've been able to, he actually gave our organization a song, unreleased song that he released this year titled Mask. And it's helped serve as a soundtrack to our national campaign of our Mask Off efforts to really help our brothers walk away from the chains of depression and anxiety or a lack of confidence, and letting our brothers know, hey, what was bad is behind you and what's good is before you. And so we're challenging our brothers to join us in this space of identifying who's the real you, and let's walk in that.
Our remaining moments with Kenny Hampton of the African American Male Wellness Agency when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the TI.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
I can't wear this mask any longer. Don't feel I'm getting stronger. Had it on so long, I don't recognize who I am. The world doesn't really know me, and whenever I try to show me, they scratch their heads 'cause they don't even know really who I am. Allow me the time to introduce who I am to me once again.
Just a taste of the track that Kenny Hampton referenced a moment ago. It's from the amazing artist Eric Roberson. The song is called Mask, a song that he has shared with and dedicated to the work that the African American Male Wellness Agency is engaged in. My extra question in our conversation, Kenny, given all we've talked about, is whether or not you think in the months and years to come we will see these numbers start to abate. I've said more times than I care to share on this program that black men are the fastest growing group in this country committing suicide. Can we bring those numbers down in 2025 and beyond?
Hey, absolutely, Tavis. I think it's certainly possible. I think it's going to require us to partner together. I think it's going to be something that all of us are going to have to prioritize ourselves. It's time for us to get selfish. They tell us to put our mask on first in the state of an emergency, and I'm encouraging every brother that's listening to start prioritizing himself. Yes, I'm a husband, father, and a servant leader, but I have had to get to a place where I got comfortable taking care of Kenny Hampton. And I'm challenging all the brothers that's listening, that are out there, to do the same so that we can begin to extend life expectancy ourselves by taking care of ourselves.
And finally, what brings you joy in the work that you do every day with these black men?
Wow, Tavis, what brings me joy in the work that we're doing is the fact that brothers are understanding and feeling as though they are not alone. We are excited to let brothers know it's okay to tell another brother I love you. It's okay to tell another brother I got you. And you know what? It's okay to not be perfect. And that's coming from a recovery perfectionist. And I want to encourage all of our brothers to know that we're in this with you, and we are looking for you to join us in this movement of brotherhood so that we can extend our lives one brother at a time.
His name is Kenny R. Hampton. He's the president of the African American Male Wellness Agency, doing some amazing work in witness. Kenny, thank you for that, and good to have you on the program, sir. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Same to you as well. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until then, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley, and as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The White House says the recent drone sightings in the Northeast are from legal and lawful drones posing no national security threat. John Kirby noted the activity is likely from commercial hobbyists or law enforcement drones with over 1 million registered with the FAA. In a press conference Monday from Mar-a-Lago, President-elect Trump said he would consider pardoning embattled New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who faces federal fraud and corruption charges, though he admitted he wasn't familiar with the specifics. ChatGPT search is now available for all ChatGPT users. OpenAI's web search assistant will either automatically determine which questions should be searched, or users can simply press a button. And just in time for the holidays, tonight's Mega Millions drawing will be worth at least $740 million. It's the largest Mega Millions jackpot that's ever been up for grabs in the month of December. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor clearance. Plus, save with weekly deal drops on appliances, tools, and more. Valid 12/12 through 12/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
If the NFL regular season was over today, the Rams would be the NFC West champs. The Rams are tied with Seattle for first place at 8-6, but the Rams already have a tiebreaker advantage. The Rams beat Seattle on November 3rd, and they are 3-1 in the division. The Rams are in a good position to win the NFC West. They're at the 4-10 New York Jets on Sunday.